Hey everyone, these remarkable inventions and techniques are showcasing the ingenuity of ancient civilizations, revealing their understanding of the world and their ability to manipulate it in ways that seem almost modern. So join me for today's video. I'll count down 15 of the most mysterious ancient technologies. Starting with number 15, Viking sunstones. The Vikings were skilled at navigating dangerous waters. They used several tools, and one particularly intriguing one was the sunstone. According to Norse myths, this stone could locate the sun's position even when it was hidden by clouds or had set. Recent research has confirmed that the sunstone was real and accurate. The sagas mention that the Vikings used the sunstone, known as the Solarstein, to find the sun during bad weather, a concept once considered just a legend. This changed in 2010 when a unique crystal was found in an Elizabethan shipwreck near the Channel Islands. This crystal, made of calcite, had properties meant for navigation. Number 14. The Saqqara bird. The Saqqara bird, found near the Saqqara Pyramid in Egypt in 1898, has fueled much debate due to its unusual design. Found in a tomb, this wooden artifact, believed to be about 2,200 years old, looks similar to a modern airplane with a bird's head. The shape of the artifact, along with the associated hieroglyphs and texts, had led to various theories about its purpose. Some suggest that the Saqqara bird might represent a model of an aircraft, proposing that ancient Egyptians might have had some knowledge of flight. This idea was supported by experiments, including one in 2006 by aviation expert Simon Sanderson, who tested a replica in a wind tunnel and found it could generate lift. However, many archaeologists and experts remain skeptical, viewing the artifact as a stylized bird, perhaps a toy or a ceremonial object used on sacred boats. Glider designer Martin Gregory's 13, the Dendera light. The Dendera light, located in the Hathor Temple at Dendera in Egypt, has sparked a considerable amount of debate. Found on 3 stone reliefs, some interpret this image as depicting a technological artifact similar to a modern-day light bulb. The depicted object resembles a bulb with a lotus socket, a snake-shaped filament inside, and what seems to be a cable. In the most recognized depiction, a priest holds this lamp with figures beneath it interacting with the device, and a baboon with knives stand in front. A Norwegian electrical engineer first proposed that the relief might illustrate an ancient electrical lamp, suggesting early Egyptian knowledge of electricity. However, most Egyptologists and archaeologists dismiss this, interpreting the imagery as symbolic of Egyptian creation stories, religious ceremonies, and deities associated with rebirth and the afterlife. If the Dendera light were confirmed as depicting an electrical device to communicate across distances, both communicating parties needed identical equipment and had to be within sight of each other, usually on hills. When one party wanted to send a message to the other, they would raise a torch. Upon seeing the torch raised, the second party would raise their torch to confirm they were prepared to receive the message. When the initial sender lowered his torch, both sides would simultaneously pull the plug from the bottom of the water-containing vessel. As the water drained, different messages on the rod would be revealed. When the intended message reached the top, the initial sender would again light his torch, signaling that the receiver should replug the vessel and read the message on the rod. For this to work properly, both parties had to have vessels of the same size, filled with the same volume of water, and rods containing the same messages. They also had to be very precise, starting and stopping drainage at the correct moment. Number 11. The Longyu Caves. The Longyu Caves have intrigued many for their mysterious origins and massive structure. These caverns, up to 100 feet deep, featured walls carved with undeciphered lines and symbols, adding to the mystery of their purpose and construction. Dated to around 200 BCE, there are no records of their construction, the tools used, or the destination of the excavated rock, suggesting their creation required advanced organization and techniques beyond the capabilities of a small village. It's believed that constructing these extensive caves, covering an area of over 1,000 square meters and each up to 3,000 square meters for the largest, would have required a large workforce, possibly over 1,000 workers, a feat not noted in any known historical records from that era. Number 10. Sacsayhuaman. Located on the northern outskirts of Cusco in Peru, the walled complex of Sacsayhuaman is renowned for its impressive dry stone walls, constructed from boulders that fit together tightly without the use of mortar. Some of the stones used in building the terraces weigh up to 200 tons, making them among the largest of extraterrestrial influence. However, John Macaulay, a retired architect with over 40 years of research in ancient construction techniques, credits the ingenuity of these ancient builders. This discussion highlights the need for expertise in architecture and construction to fully understand how these ancient structures were built. Recently, structural engineer Peter James proposed a new theory regarding the construction of the Egyptian pyramids, reflecting ongoing interest and debate in this field. The skills needed and evident in Sacsayhuaman underscore a sophisticated understanding of construction that challenges our perceptions of pre-Columbian civilizations. Fully deciphering the methods used to build this place would provide profound insights into Inca technological capability, and it would revolutionize our understanding of ancient engineering. Number 9. Mithridate. Mithridate was a popular preparation during the Middle Ages and Renaissance, containing over 60 ingredients and used widely in Italy and France as an antidote. Petrus uses a smaller amount comparable to an Egyptian bean was sufficient. Historically, many have sought to pinpoint Mithridate's exact formula, which has been known for millennia, but its effectiveness as a true antidote or cure remains uncertain. The original recipe is now lost, and while many have tried to rediscover it, few have critically examined the bold claims made by Mithridates and historical authors. Mithridates himself claimed to consume lethal doses of poison to demonstrate the efficacy of his antidote, though there is no evidence to confirm if these substances were poisonous or harmless. It's possible that his demonstrations were mere deceptions intended to deter his enemies from poisoning him. If the remedy were as effective as claimed, it would likely have been targeted by others seeking to weaken or exploit Mithridates, known for using poison against his foes. Thus, claiming to have such a cure would have been as strategic as actually possessing it. Number 8. Baalbek Trilithon. Throughout history, but in Baalbek, Lebanon, in the ruins of what was once called Heliopolis, or the City of the Sun. Here lies the Trilithon, 3 gigantic stones at the base of the Jupiter Baal temple, each weighing over 750 tons. While construction of this massive Roman temple began around 27 years before the birth of Jesus, it's widely believed that the Romans cut these stones. There is evidence suggesting that the Trilithon might predate their presence, possibly even going back to the time before Alexander the Great, who founded Heliopolis in 334 BC. The method used to transport these enormous stones from the quarry and lift them onto a foundation of smaller blocks remains unclear. Additionally, the temple houses a 4th stone known as the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, the largest hewn stone weighing an estimated 1,200 tons, about the weight of 3 Boeing 747s. This stone was never moved from its quarry, highlighting the logistical challenges it faced. The discussion on how the Trilithon was moved on the Gate of the Sun have puzzled archaeologists and historians since its discovery. Tiwanaku was a major cultural and political hub of the Tiwanaku Empire from around 300 to 1000 AD, extending into what is now Peru and Chile. The city showcased remarkable construction techniques, including large, precisely carved stones and sophisticated underground drainage systems, indicating a highly advanced civilization despite the absence of any written records. Found within the Kalasasaya complex, a ceremonial area in Tiwanaku, the Gate of the Sun was discovered on the ground with a significant crack by European explorers in the mid-19th century, and its exact original position is unknown, adding to its mysterious nature. The carvings on the gate are believed to hold astronomical significance. The central figure, possibly representing the god Viracocha or a sun deity, is shown with rays around his face and tears, earning him the name the Weeping God. He's depicted holding a staff in each hand, surrounded by smaller figures that lords. In Scotland, archaeologists may have unraveled the long-standing mystery of an Iron Age fort known as the Dunderdale, where the stones were found melted through a process called vitrification. Located in the highlands near Ben Nevis, Dunderdale dates back to around 500 BC according to carbon dating. It was initially built and used by the Celts and later occupied by the Picts as a fortress. The site, now marked by a grassy embankment, is situated on a historically strategic hilltop, and it's one of the most famous vitrified forts in Scotland, attracting many visitors each year. Similar structures exist in France and Ireland, with around 70 in Scotland and about 200 across Europe, as estimated by National Geographic. Vitrification requires temperatures of around 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit to melt stone slabs, posing questions about the Iron Age technology capable of achieving such heat. Recent theories suggest that the vitrification occurred when a large wooden structure built over the stone walls was intentionally set on fire, the Great Pyramid of Giza. The Great Pyramids of Giza, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, continue to fascinate people. Built around 4,500 years ago, these monumental structures were constructed at a time when the ancient Egyptians had only basic copper tools and lacked complex machinery such as cranes or even the wheel. It's estimated that each pyramid took about 20 years to build, relying solely on human labor. Despite the primitive technology, the pyramids are not only massive, but were built with extraordinary precision. They're aligned to the cardinal points north, south, east, and west with an accuracy of 1/15 of a degree, a feat not even always achieved by modern buildings. Furthermore, the pyramids of Giza are located at the geographical center of the Earth's landmass, where the prime meridian and equator intersect. Such precision in both construction and location, along with the relationships to celestial bodies like the Sun, adds a layer of mystery to their construction. These aspects of artificial intelligence and automatons is not a modern phenomenon. It dates back to over 2,000 years to Greek mythology. The myth of Talos, often considered the first robot-like creature in mythology, is particularly notable. According to legend, Talos was an automaton created by the god Zeus, although other versions attribute his creation to Hephaestus, the god of fire and iron. Talos was described in texts around 700 BC by Hesiod and later Plato, who noted that Talos protected Crete by circling the island 3 times daily. Given Crete's size, this task suggests Talos was either a giant or had the ability to fly, which aligns with depictions of him having wings. Talos defended Crete against invaders by hurling rocks at approaching ships and heating his body to lethal temperatures to kill enemies on land. This myth, like from others of the era, may have been inspired by real events that ancient people didn't fully understand, using their contemporary knowledge and beliefs to interpret. 3. The Heron Engine. Over 2,000 years ago, there was significant mechanical innovations and feats of engineering that were far ahead of their time. Many of these innovations were forgotten and only reinvented centuries later. One such invention was the first modern steam engine by Heron of Alexandria, also known as Hero. Born in Alexandria in 10 AD, Heron was a Greek mathematician and engineer, considered one of the greatest inventors of antiquity. He lived during the time when the Great Library of Alexandria thrived, and is believed to have taught at the Museum of Alexandria, a gathering place for scholars. Little known is that Heron invented the steam engine, creating a steam-powered device called an aeolipile, or the Heron engine. The aeolipile was a sphere designed to rotate on its axis, with nozzles on opposite sides that expelled steam. This action produced torque, spinning the sphere. The steam was generated by boiling water either inside or below the sphere, which connected to the sphere via a millennium before the true potential of steam power was realized in the industrial era. Number 2. The Nazca Lines. The Nazca Lines, covering nearly 200 square miles on a high, arid plateau in Peru, rank amongst the world's most mysterious phenomena. Created by the Nazca civilization between 200 BC and 600 AD, these geoglyphs feature a diverse array of designs, including animals, human figures, geometric patterns, and possibly astronomical symbols. The lines were created by removing a layer of dark iron oxide-coated pebbles to reveal the lighter sand beneath. The sheer scale of these lines and the fact that they're best appreciated from above have fueled much speculation about their purpose and creation methods. The most accepted construction technique involves using stakes and ropes to outline the figures before removing the surface stones. This allowed the Nazca to create precise and expansive figures, with some spanning more than 1,200 feet. While the construction techniques are also an intriguing yet speculative hypothesis that the Nazca might have used hot air balloons to view the lines from above, though there's no direct archaeological evidence to support that. The Nazca Lines also face some threats from natural erosion and human activities. Over the years, they've been damaged by construction, irresponsible tourism, and even activism, notably by a Greenpeace action in 2014 that caused unintentional harm. Recent discoveries in December 2022 have revealed 168 new designs, highlighting the ongoing need to preserve and study these geoglyphs. These findings are critical not only for their historical and cultural value, but also for what they may reveal about the Nazca civilization and their perspectives. Number 1. The Chimu Telephone. The discovery of a 1,200-year-old device resembling a telephone in the ruins of Chan Chan in Peru surprises many due to its age and sophistication. This ancient device is considered the earliest example of telephone research by over a millennium. While the fragile nature of the gourd and string device prevents physical testing, researchers can infer how it might have worked, yet its exact purpose within the Chimu culture remains speculative. It's theorized that the device was used by the elite or priestly class in a hierarchical society. This telephone could have allowed private communication between higher-ranking individuals and their subordinates, facilitating command and control without direct contact, thus maintaining social hierarchies and security. Alternatively, the device might have served to impress or control the faithful, making the disembodied voices it transmitted seem miraculous. Yet some suggest it might have merely been a child's toy, challenging the assumption that what seems sophisticated or sacred today must have held similar significance in the past. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will